What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. So today we are whipping in the kitchen. I am really in the mood for something warm and cozy. So today I'm going to be batch cooking two different types of finish that one first, okay? So today I'm going to be whipping up two different soups. It's beginning to feel a lot like fall, and like I said, I like warm cozy meals, and I'm also on this like Whole30-ish diet, so I wanted to make something that I can meal prep with, throw in my lunch bag, and take with me pretty easy and eat. So soup it is. So we are going to start with one. I'll be cooking them at the same time, but we're going to start with one and then we'll move on to the other, and then I will show you what everything looks like in the end. So let's hop to it. So this is the first soup that we will be making. This is the Cozy Autumn Wild Rice Soup. Of course, Pinterest, you guys already know. I will be sure to link both of these recipes down below, and like I always say, add to it whatever feeds your soul, whatever makes you feel warm and fuzzy on the inside, add to that. So, but this one specifically, I like following the recipe like to the T. So let's go, girl. All right, so as far as ingredients, we have chicken broth, coconut milk, the wild rice, a bay leaf, and some garlic, some mushrooms, 1 onion, sweet potato, carrots and celery, and then we will be seasoning with some Old Bay here, and we'll use about a handful of kale. What I love about this recipe, it is just so simple. Literally, we will warm the pot, drop some butter in there. So let's go ahead and do that now. And then while that's warming up, cut up our onion, because obviously you want that to get translucent and happy. Then you just drop these into the pot. All right, and while the onions are cooking down and getting translucent, the next recipe that we are working on it is a butternut squash, kale, and white bean soup. I will be adding sausage to mine, specifically this spicy Jimmy Dean, because I like a little spice and I want a little meat. So while this is getting prepared, I'm going to brown my meat. All right, the onions are nice and cooked down, so now let's go ahead and press 4 cloves of garlic up in here, up in here. All right, so at this point in this pot, we will be adding everything else into the pot with the exception of the coconut milk and the kale, but everything else is going to go in so it can cook down. 1 cup of wild rice. We're dropping in our mushrooms, sweet potatoes, carrots, and celery. Get that all well incorporated. 1 bay leaf. I need to rinse this off. And this is fresh from the garden. And then lastly, we are putting in 1.5 tablespoons of Old Bay. And sometimes the spirit will lead me to add a little bit more of stuff, but we will taste as we go. But for now, this is all we need to do for this soup. So stir it in good and cover this baby up. All right, as far as ingredients for this next recipe, we got 6 cups of, actually this is water, but I'm gonna add chicken bouillon into the mix. About 2 pounds of butternut squash. We have bell pepper, we have an onion, we have some thyme, a bay leaf, and garlic in here, celery, again the sausage, some more kale, and it actually calls for fire roasted tomatoes, but I don't have that. I don't have any tomatoes. So instead, or no, actually I have some fresh ones. So maybe I'll cut up some fresh ones, but I'm also adding in some paste to thicken it up because I also do not have an immersion blender right now. And then we have our Great Northern beans. All right, in the pot, let's go ahead and add in some olive oil. Just drop in our onions. And the celery. Let this cook down and get translucent. All right, now we're gonna go on ahead and add in the garlic. I'm putting about 5 cloves in here. Also adding in our thyme. And these are frozen, so they are gonna be soft really, really fast, which is perfect because I ain't trying to be doing this all day. So we're gonna add these in, the butternut squash in, as well as some bell peppers, and give everything a good stir around. And let this cook down for just a few minutes. All right, so now all the flavors are incorporated in here. I'm gonna add my bay leaf and sausage back into the mix. Also gonna add our kale, which is rinsed and trimmed down. And then 6 cups of water. And again, you can just use broth, but I'll be adding bouillon in here in a bit. So let's go ahead and get the kale worked down up in here. And now I need to get my beans prepared. So now I just need to get my beans prepared. I am going to drain and rinse these off and drop them into the pot. All right, as far as seasonings are concerned, I am going to use some smoked paprika. I did end up dropping in some chili flakes as well. So I'm just gonna shake this until, you know, I'm pleased. I like paprika, so you do what makes you happy. And then as far as the chicken bouillon, we have 6 cups of liquid. The recipe called for 4 cups of broth and 2 cups of water. It says here that you should do 1 teaspoon, or yeah, 1 teaspoon per serving. So I'm going to use about 4 of these and give it a taste later. So we are going with 4 teaspoons of the bouillon powder. And if I feel like I want to add more later on, then of course I will add more later on. Alrighty, it's been about 30 minutes since we started the process on this one, which means that this guy is just about done. So now what we need to do is test the rice. That's really the telltale. If the rice is done, then we can go on ahead and add in our final ingredients. So on a spoon, I'm just going to test one of these grains. Oh yeah, perfect. All right, so going ahead and turn the heat off. We have our coconut milk here. You always want to give it a really good shake. And this is organic. I want to say this is whole coconut milk. You buy whatever brand you like. Just go ahead and pour that in. And then you're adding as much kale as you want. I'm just using about a handful. And give everything a good stir in. Let's add a little bit of black pepper and salt. Really is to taste. I know that I like going a little extra with the Old Bay. So we're gonna add a few more dashes of this as well. All right, so now that this is brought up to a boil, I'm going to add in maybe about, let's say, 2 tablespoons of the tomato paste, just to help thicken this up, and then also get some of that tomato flavor that the recipe calls for. But I'm not going to add in any fresh tomatoes because I feel like that'll water everything down, and I feel like this will still give us that concentrated tomatoey taste that we are going for here. So let me get a better spoon. And actually, you know what? I'm going to add in a little bit more. I feel like this can use at least three-ish tablespoons. What I like to do for this soup is, because normally you'll use like an immersion blender to blend up like some of the butternut squash, but since I don't have that, I am just going to use a masher, and I am going to go through and just smush and like get a finer texture on the butternut squash, just so they're not in like huge cubes. And I tend to enjoy this texture. And this is also smashing up the beans a little bit, which is totally fine. It's just going to add to the overall thickness of the soup. And it's going to incorporate all those flavors and be so yummy, so yummy. Then I'm also going to pull out the sprigs here. Try to scrape off the leaves, but just take out the branchy parts as I find them when I'm stirring. Alright, so everything is well incorporated in the pot. So now let's go ahead and salt and pepper to taste. I like a lot of pepper. You do things how you want to do things, but honey, we like to do a lot. And I like to take it light on the salt because, you know, it's just not that deep to make everything super salty right now. But we obviously want all those flavors to be incorporated. And boom. That will be it for this pot of soup here. All right, so this will not be a whipping in the kitchen without giving things a taste test. So let's go ahead and start with this cozy autumn soup. I try to get a little bit of everything, and of course some of that broth, babe. So this is what it looks like. Oh, so beautiful, so creamy, smells so sweet, so good. I love a good sweet potato moment, and I absolutely love mushrooms. This is a great vegetarian option. I want to say everything for the most part would be considered Whole30 in this recipe, maybe minus the coconut milk, but I guess it depends on how processed you buy your coconut milk. So anyways, let's go ahead and give this a try. Oh hell yeah. I can actually go for a little bit of spice in this. So it's the flavors. The flavors are just so real. Yes, this is good. Love this. Yeah. All right, next we will go for our spinach, sausage and butternut squash soup. This is probably one of my favorites, if I'm being honest, you guys. I have made this soup so many times and has tweaked it in a way that I really seem to enjoy it, but I like to share. That way you guys can have like more options if you have trouble like trying to figure out what to make. This is like such a quick, easy, I mean, literally, it's now 12 o'clock. I started this video at 11, so this is like an hour long process to make 2 different soups. Half of each one of these soups I will go on ahead and instantly put into the freezer for later use, and then I'll pack up some lunches with the rest in like mason jars. I mean, it's the perfect on the go type meal, or just something warm and cozy. You and your hubby, you and your wife can cuddle up, enjoy with maybe like some good grilled cheese sandwiches. Oh baby, yeah. Anyways, let's get into it. The heat that I added this time, I haven't always used the hot Jimmy Dean sausage, but that was a perfect addition for something like this. This would be even more amazing with like Parmesan cheese, just to add like a little bit of creaminess, and that is an option in the recipes that I will be sharing, because this is like 2 combined together. Cream was an option, Parmesan was an option. I'm opting out for that because again, I'm trying to cut back on some things in my diet currently, but this here, just absolutely amazing. So good. All right, you guys, so that is pretty much going to wrap this video up. If you enjoy these type of videos, make sure that you go on ahead and stick around on my channel. I will try to do a whipping in the kitchen at least once a week, if not every other week. You guys will tell me what the frequency that you would like to see these type of videos at. But yeah, I'm about to enjoy my lunch. So again, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Thank you so much for stopping by for this episode of Whipping in the Kitchen, and until the next time, I wish you all health, wealth, and prosperity. Peace.